tell you something I do know.
Go on.
Right? But I can't really get a question out of it.
Go on, just tell us.
There's a shadow somewhere.
It's already good, isn't it?
I'm loving it already.
No, right, there's a shadow, I think it was in America.
Yeah.
And it's on a quiet road. I'm guessing somewhere like Boston, that's what I imagine.
Okay,
Right?
no.
Somewhere like Boston, and people at night used to see this shadow moving about, and they'd go, what's that? Right? And it got known, the town, the little local town got known for this shadow, but it didn't cause any problems. People
What are you
used to-
talking about?
Well, it was like,
You've lost me.
What are you talking
no,
about?
do you know, like, some places get famous, like, Scotland's got the Loch Ness Monster and that, but
No,
it doesn't
go
cause
on,
any,
yeah.
but it doesn't cause any problems.
Doesn't exist, go on.
Right? So there's this shadow walking about on the road. And,
What do you mean? No, what's he, again? Rubbish.
Right, so it's walking
Nonsense.
about,
Where did you read this? Where did you
it's
see
walking
this?
about, this was on the internet, and I'm
Oh,
sure...
sorry! Sorry!
Right.
I thought it was shite. I didn't know it was on the internet.
Right, so this shadow is moving about, and,
Independently of an object.
yeah, and the local mayor and that is like, yeah, it's a bit weird, but it's not harming anyone.
The mayor involved!
Was he
Mayor-
elected to that post?
Hey, Mayor, we got a problem down here. Seems like a shadow. Well, it's not causing any. No, it's
Is
just.
it causing any problems?
Yeah, go on.
But that's the thing, it was left for years, and then it did start causing problems.
I see, that's it. If you leave these shadows to go unchecked, Rick, they go crazy.
Yeah.
You let them run amok in the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
You've got to stand
What
down
did it do?
on
What did it
Roman
do?
shadows.
What did the shadow do?
It was pushing people off the bikes.
It was what?
It was pushing people off the bikes.
Oh,
I'll find out more for that next week. Right, that'll tease
oh,
them.
you're a maniac.
We'll do more on that. We haven't had time for educating.
Please never have children.
Right, listen.
You are
Just
a
promise me
maniac.
now you'll never have kids.
Right,
So-
so, listen, what we're doing now, are we doing, we getting a debate going about... Actually, right?
Go on. We're struggling. Go on.
No.
You can help me out here, Carl. You've got an idea. I can see it in your eyes. He's got a brilliant idea. Wait for it. Go on.
No. It's something, when I was looking on the web,
Yeah.
found something out.
Go on.
It's a story about a woman who had a baby.
What are you talking about?
What?
A woman
Yeah.
who had a baby who was having a baby.
It was no clearer when you repeated it.
No, Carl, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do for the common good, right? Pursue this line of inquiry, right? Because I don't know where it's going, or play a record. I'm actually torn. I don't know what to do.
No, I remember seeing it and thinking, I've got to tell Ricky about that. It's brilliant.
What should we do? Should we go with it? I mean, it's like, it's entering into the abyss, it's opening Pandora's box, it's peeking, it's going down to the cellar.
I've got a couple of questions though.
Go on then.
Well, come down there with me. Come down in the
right.
cellar with me.
Okay, right, Carl. What, first of all, it was on the web. What do you mean? The baby was what? Had another, was it, she didn't give birth, the doctor didn't find one of those set of Chinese dolls up her. Russian dolls, whatever they're called.
That's what I pictured it like, those dolls where you take the head off and there's another one in there that all look the same, but no, the story was, there's a woman who's...
No, don't just say it again, that's a headline. That's not a story. There was a woman who had a baby, That's not a story. Imagine handing that in as a thesis to loads of the BMA. There you go, and read that.
That's a children's rhyme.
Yeah, there was a woman who had a baby What do you mean? So she had a baby,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And,
That bit's fine. We're
Yeah,
okay with
that's
that.
normal. That's normal.
A woman had a child.
Yeah, totally normal.
She gave birth. Fine.
Yeah.
Next.
well, I don't know that much more,
course you
apart
don't.
from the fact that the baby's, like, roaming about, and then, 12 months later, she's like, oh...
Interesting. So the gestation period of that baby was actually 3 months more than an adult. Excellent.
It's weird though, isn't it?
So was the headline, "My baby's 12 months pregnant"? What are you talking about? 12 months later, it had a... What are you talking about?
Forget it.
No, you haven't even finished the story. That what you said, and 12 months later, you didn't even finish the sentence. So what do you mean?
No, I didn't read any more into it because I just saw
You
that and I
didn't read
thought,
it? What?
that's weird, and then I just was thinking, oh, like, imagine the kid at school, at parents' evening,
Go on.
and it's like, well, your
When
kid's
they're
pretty
both
good,
10.
now let's have a look at your work, sort of thing. Don't you think that'd be weird?
But But what? Did the child have a baby?
Yeah.
Of course it didn't! Play record!
We shouldn't have gone down in the cellar. We should have just left the cellar door closed. I never learn. That's the Zombies and a song called Time of the Season. I've enjoyed that.
What do you think of Zombies, Carl?
It's alright, yeah.
No, not the group, but the Living Dead.
Don't worry about them.
No? Why?
Not about, are they? Couldn't happen.
You don't believe
listen,
in that?
Listen, right?
You don't believe in zombies?
So, I
But
was
you do
looking
believe a
online.
baby had a baby.
Yeah.
On you go. On you go.
Are you still saying that didn't happen?
Yes.
Right, well, I'll find the thing again, I'll print it off, and
Well,
then you'll
all
read
I'm
it.
saying is there's more information that we need.
Yeah, but it always annoys me that when I do get the information, you'll go, yeah, but it's named Sally, you didn't say that, and make out...
No.
As if...
No,
you
don't make it look like we're over-inquisitive or over-cynical. You come out with the most abominable things man has ever uttered, and you expect us to accept them. Usually headlines, usually illogical, not just probably wrong. So, fleas are born pregnant.
Are they?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
See?
On we go.
So...
See, that's true, and you're not impressed. Because it doesn't involve a little werewolf child. Or half man, half shark. You're just not, it's not good enough for you.
No, but if I read the first line of something, and it's not that interesting, I go next, right, and I move on. Now, when I saw a woman had a baby, and it had a baby,
But you still didn't read on.
No, but, alright, I didn't read on, but it got me thinking. Like I said, you wonder about the parents' evening. I was thinking about, you know, is it a good thing? Because you're gonna spend more time with the kid. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of mums who have to go to work and that. She's gonna be a great mum. Grew up with her, literally.
Yeah.
Ah,
Do you know what I mean? So
She's gonna be
wonder,
a great mum!
I just wonder if, I know it sounds weird, but if
Was it the you know the baby that woman had, was that a girl or a boy?
No, it would have been a girl, wouldn't it?
Of course it would, it'd be mental, wouldn't it, if it wasn't?
Right.
It would have been a weird story, wouldn't it? XFM 104.9, lovely that one.
Brilliant, isn't it? The acoustic version of Just Like Heaven from The Cure's
Like
double
it.
CD
I'm loving it, loving it.
collection.
Now, again, I broke the rules in the week. I met up with Carl. I had lunch with him. And, we were chatting, and having a cup of tea. And it got onto one of Carl's favourite programmes, was the Tales of the Unexpected.
Ah, of course.
And all I can think is that he's probably the only person in Britain where they were unexpected. I mean, to him, when that twist came in, he'd go, gee, I can't...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Can't believe
So it was the tree that did it. I mean, he was probably the only... And we were telling all these stories of horror, and he liked horror stories. And I told him this story. And I don't know if this had come across the radio, but I told him this story. It was a short. It was a horror short.
This was a film you saw, was it?
Yeah, yeah. And, what it was, it started off just there'd been a car crash. You see, it's a horrendous wreck. And you saw it from the point of view of the person in the car. And he was calling for his mate, and he was going, Dave. And he sort of looked over and saw a body without a head that had been thrown at. He goes, oh no, Dave, Dave. And then into the field of view came Dave, his mate, and looked at him with a look of horror, and then it sort of went black, and you realised that he was just a head, and it had been his body.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And I said, then it came up at the end, at the, executions in the French Revolution, people experience consciousness for, you know, and he went, oh, no, he said, it wouldn't be for that long. And then he went, if it was a chicken, it would work. Imagine remaking that film, but it's two chickens in horrendous car crash.
Their own fault for driving.
It would work. No, he wasn't having that.
Yeah.
No, it was too long. I think he said, how long was this film? Went, oh, no, 5 minutes. He went, no. It would work if it was a chicken.
I like the way that Carl in something like, when you relate an incident like that, he's appalled and offended and annoyed by the people that made it, even though he's never seen it.
Oh, he's annoyed, yeah. Like, you have
I want to see it. I think it's a good idea,
yeah.
but they should have thought it through a bit more.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a favourite, Tales of the Unexpected, one that you remember particularly that shook you up?
Yeah, we were talking about the one on, where, there's some woman in prison. Have you seen that one?
No, I can't remember them all.
Right? This woman's in prison.
Yeah.
And, she gets a bit friendly with the guy who takes the dead bodies out.
Right.
And, he said, I can get you out of here. He said, what you've got to do, right? You've got to, I don't know, at midnight.
When you hear the bell toll,
Yeah,
that means there's been a
Yeah.
Dead body,
Yeah, there's been a dead body. So what you got to do is go into like the place where all the dead bodies are. Get in the first coffin on the right, and then I'll come along and carry you out, and you can run away and escape.
Yeah.
Right. So she goes, yeah, all right then. So she hears the bell go.
I'll bury you, right? And then I'll come back later and dig you up.
Right.
Yeah, but
That's the
that
point.
bit doesn't matter.
It does matter. Trust me, Carl, it
Alright,
really
okay.
matters.
Listen, I don't know if I'm going to ruin this for people at home.
Yeah.
Can I just skip to the end? I would imagine that she gets buried and he doesn't come back, and she has to get buried alive.
Better than
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, she does it. She gets into the coffin.
Yeah, shh.
Go on.
Right. So she gets in the coffin, and she's lying there for ages.
She's
and She
buried.
can feel a bit of movement going on, so she's obviously, you know, being carried somewhere, so she's thinking, this is it, I'm getting out. And she's lying there for ages and thinking, why ain't someone coming and lifting the lid off this? Do you know what I mean? Letting me get out. So she's really bored. She gets a lighter out, right? Lights it to have a look at who she's lying on. It's only the fella who said he'd help escape.
Oh.
How bad is that?
That is... How bad is that?
So it is quite important that she's buried alive then, isn't it? In retrospect, you realise that the jeopardy is that she is buried alive and can't get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes it so much worse, doesn't it, than just like lying in the morgue and going, actually, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna work.
Look at Carl's face. Having told that, he's so pleased. His face is lit up. He's beaming like a child.
Have you seen any?
Is that your favourite horror thing ever?
That's a good one. And
Let's see if anyone knows what the finger is. When that bloke was under the ground, wiggling his finger.
We were talking about one with some fella who's stuck in the ground or something.
This is a motif I noticed in your particular favourite ones.
Yeah.
Right.
People stuck in the ground. Go on.
Right. So
It's a fella, is it?
Yeah, a fella stuck. Now I seem to remember it just being his foot, to be honest, being stuck in a hole. And
No, he was under the ground and he got a little thing out of the pavement and he put his finger up and wiggled it to try and attract attention. Then you see a woman come along and her stiletto heel just knocks his finger off.
You see, I'm wondering whether it's the same one as I saw.
Yeah, it could be two like that, couldn't there? It's a.
They were running out of ideas by the last series.
It's a big theme in Hollywood.
Or what was that one you told me about with the porn? That was a good one.
Oh, this was fantastic, right? Right. There was this,
Sorry, can I just check now? We're just remembering classic episodes of the Tales of
No,
Unexpected
this is important. Well, I saw one, right? I saw one, on Tales of Unexpected, right? And it was, these two gents, what they used to do, they look down the obituaries, and they'd blackmail, the wife or the son of a dead eminent person, like might be a priest or a doctor, like that, and they'd go and they'd say, he bought some, erotic, stuff from us, before he died, and he owes, 100 guineas and all this sort of stuff, and they'd pay up because it'd be so embarrassing, they just didn't want them to say, just pay him, right? And this one bloke said, who are these people? I'll meet with them. And he goes round there, and he goes round, and, they go, your father, he goes, my father could not have bought any erotic material from you. They did it, he goes, he couldn't have, he's blind. Right, and that was the twist. And Carl went, so it was magazines, not videos then.
Yeah. Now think about it, Steve. Is that so stupid?
Well, presumably it was set in olden times because people, professional pornographers don't tend to call it, you know, erotic material.
Yeah.
They tend to call it, you know, juicy jugs or whatever. But more than that, I don't understand how a video is going to be any use to a blind person either. I know that you can hear the sound, Carl. Look at him nodding like he's caught me out.
Yeah, what sound will you hear? Do 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 do. Your meter needs looking at? Yes. Cut. What's then? What's that? Then it's just noises, isn't it?
Occasional groans.
Yeah.
Right.
You could listen through the wall at your neighbours.
He does.
I mean, that's why I save a lot of money. But I thought you were going to point out, Carl, that they could have had a Braille porno. I hadn't thought of that.
Look, feel the lumps on that.
Exactly. Think about it, Carl.
Think about it.
You're excited now.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend's away, Carl.
Yeah, the cheese grate is only under the cupboard.
No, she's a good-looking lady.
Yeah. Hey, Outcast on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. You alright, Carl?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Just, when you were talking just now about, like the gay stuff.
Yeah.
Right, I don't know if you saw, the thing the other week about the fella who's on that quiz show.
Who?
Sort of...
Oh, right, okay.
Gay fella, straight, sort of man, woman thing.
What are you talking about? Tell me what did you see? Tell me what you saw.
It's,
this is like a kid come running in, and he's seeing something frightening. Could be an alien, could be a ghost, could be a paedophile, and you've got to get exactly what actually saw out of him. Right, what did you actually see?
It's just this fella who's a woman.
Right. Right, okay, right, try and talk like a human being. Right.
It's a quiz show that's coming on the telly. And, it's this woman.
Right, is it a fella who's a woman, or is it a woman?
Bit of both, that's why I'm talking about it.
But what do you mean? Is it a pre-op? Is it a transsexual, a transvestite? Is it a ladyboy? Is it an hermaphrodite? What is it?
I'll tell you about it.
Well, tell me!
I'm telling you. It's a woman. Well, it's a man.
Oh, forget it.
Listen.
Play a record.
No, listen.
Come on.
What?
It is a man. He is a man. Well.
Oh, Christ's sake!
It's a TV programme where they've got this
transvestite or television?
It is a transvestite, yeah.
So,
but the problem is, I'll tell you, just because you don't know about it, the programme is...
I don't know, I still don't know about it. I don't know anything about it, still. I don't know. It's a woman, man, woman, TV programme, look, TV.
No, it's a man who is now sort of half a woman. And...
A man who is now half a woman!
No, well, this is what's weird about it. He's got the top half, but not the bottom half.
What do you mean? He's got breasts and a wig? But he's still got his boys downstairs.
Why do you do that?
His caps and the boys are still there in his Y fronts.
Why
but upstairs, he's got a lovely pair of dumplings.
Why do that?
Well, he's halfway through.
But why not get it all done in one go?
Maybe he couldn't afford it.
Well, wait until you've got all the money. That just looks a mess. And who's he pleasing there?
Well, he wakes up in the morning and pleases himself. He can't believe his luck. He doesn't know where to start.
No, but what I don't understand, I mean, you know, I don't want to see him...
Well, can I just finish that sentence? What you don't understand is just about everything.
Yeah.
Right, what...
I find it weird, right? I sort of get... I understand the gay thing, right? But...
Do you? What do you mean?
Well, you know, I know...
Well, tell me the gay thing. Explain the gay thing.
I just know if you're a fella, you like men. I don't know much more than that.
What do you mean you don't know?
But what I mean is, with a transvestite, what's going on there? What do they want?
Now, transvestite is a cross-dresser.
See, I don't get that either. Because...
You mean a transsexual?
That's a man who likes to dress in women's clothing. It's not necessarily, they're not necessarily gay.
They're not gay, they're often not gay.
They just happen to like wearing women's
clothes, right, yeah.
But then why not wear women's clothes that could be seen as a bloke's, like Suzanne wears jeans?
No, but but that's
buy
the
women's
thing.
jeans.
But that's their problem, is it? They like being seen as a woman. They like being seen as a woman. It's not just that it's more comfortable, or they wear a kilt. They like being seen as a woman. They feel more comfortable.
Alright, and what's the deal with this fella who's got...
We don't know who this fella is.
No. We don't know this man who's half a woman.
He's called Miriam.
Oh, that's helps.
yeah. Brilliant. I love this scientific basis.
No, I
So
think...
all he's done, he's had the tits done, he's probably had the hormones, probably lived as a woman for a while. The last step, because you can probably reverse the breasts anyway, because they're probably implants and hormonal things, and whereas you chop your knob and boys off, that's, you come back the next day and go, sorry, I didn't mean that, I wanted my ears pierced. It's a bit more of a bigger operation to put them back. So, doctors are probably making sure that he's just up to...
if you've had the top half done, you're not going to go back on what you've said.
But no, what's the top half being done? I could get you breast implants, give you a bit of hormonal treatment.
Now that would be a great idea for next week.
and you could reverse it. What you can't do is grow a knob back.
Well, you can. Last week you were talking about growing one on your arm.
Yeah.
We've done that.
We can, so that is possible. But the thing is, the truth of it is, I think I do know about this story. I think it was a television programme called There's Something About Miriam. The conceit of which was that this pre-op transsexual...
So I guessed that right, yeah.
Was masquerading as a woman.
Right.
And various blokes, who didn't realise that this was a man, had to
I've heard
try
about
and seduce her. And when they found out that it was actually a bloke, and a lot of them had kissed her, they refused to let it be shown.
I agree though. That's just terrible.
Yeah.
That's deceit. But I mean, that's awful. I hated that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what,
I think it was a Sky One programme. Is there anything other than The Simpsons on Sky One that's worth watching? Have you ever tried to watch that? Have you ever seen Kirsty's home videos?
Yes. Yeah. But it's things like it's dogs on a slide, babies falling over.
Do you know, it's only recently reduced from an hour in length. It used to be an hour long, and it was just, if you haven't seen it, it's just like camcorder footage, like you've been found of people falling over.
I like an old woman at a wedding falling over and showing her bloomers. That's my favourite.
But I like it when it's Kirsty's home videos uncut. So it's kind of 4 old women, like, naked.
With their tits falling out.
Windsurfing.
Oh, Christ, imagine that. Does it whistle?
Well, I mean, have you ever really sat and watched anything on Sky One?
No.
That wasn't
The Simpsons
or Star Trek.
I think that's what I watch on. I think that's pretty much what I watch. Wrestling.
They have WWF wrestling, cartoons, and just the worst programs. I mean,
I've seen a bit of the wrestling. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
It's like a station that's made by a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly the demographic. Do you like Sky One, Carl?
I haven't got satellite ever, so...
Why not? I thought you'd have loved that.
No, I would love it.
Discovery Channel's all about
no.
slugs and that, and weird stuff like that.
I know.
Chimps.
I was reading about slugs the other day.
There's a thing on one of the channels called Monkey Business.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah.
Because I was doing that thing, wasn't I, with Richard Bacon.
Yeah.
Where you can watch the telly and that.
You're talking riddles. You actually talk in riddles and forget a play record.
You should be the gatekeeper in some kind of Dungeons and Dragons kind of quiz game.
Alright, yeah. Let me enter. Right, yeah, but I was doing that thing with Richard Bacon. What can he mean? What can he mean? He is the wise
There's
one.
There's a man who's also a woman.
Yeah, yeah.
The upper half is, but is the bottom.
Yeah, play a record.
Bit of Clash.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Train in Vain. XFM. 104.9.
Stir it up. Bob Marley on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Wait, did you get up today and just see the great weather and think, do you know what, I'd love to hear some Stir It Up from Bob Marley?
Yeah, I did actually. Well, I was going to play it the week before last, before I went away, and we didn't have time. So,
well, we were crammed full of features like this one.
Have we got a cheeky freak of the week?
Do you want one?
Yeah.
I think we should have a jingle for this.
Okay, I've got a jingle. It's very similar to Chimpanzee.
Chimpanzee that?
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay. Oh, cheeky freak of the week.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, I think that's excellent. So, cheeky freak of the week. You've spotted a freak
This is where somewhat, I think, offensively, you pick on someone who's not like other people and say it's your favourite freak of that week. Yeah, I remember we had the woman whose legs looked like the hind legs of a dog. We've had the little fella with the aging disease with the little head playing the piano. That was your favourite. I think that's your probably freak of the year, isn't it?
It's a pretty good one.
So what's this? Is it a man with a horrendous injury, or is it a congenital birth defect, or what?
Yeah, but you put it like that, and now it sounds like I'm being tight. It sounds like I'm being out of order. But I'm just giving him a mention.
Just giving him a big shout out.
Right. There's quite a lot going on in the freak world.
There always is.
You've been visiting hospitals the last week, have you, when we were away?
No, there was a thing on a website. This isn't even the one that I've picked, so...
So this is just a bonus?
This is a bonus freak?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
This is a free freak, right? It's a fella called the Lobster Man.
The Lobster Man, of course.
Again, good name, you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Right?
What are you gonna get? Some succulent meat.
I like the idea that the vicar on the christening suggested that. I know you want to call him Mark. Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Look at his hands.
What's his name? Mark Michael Webster. Right. Right. Yeah.
Have you thought about a nickname?
Not really. No. Have you looked at
his hands?
Yeah. We don't want to talk about that because
do they look a little bit like lobsters?
Well, yeah, but it's quite deformed. It's like, you know,
Can I suggest Lobster Man?
That's terrible, Vicar. That is terrible, Vicar.
Pinchy.
Go on then. We're gonna see. This is what the sort of feature you come up with, Karl.
So, Lobster Man.
There's probably people listening now with, you know, lobster feet.
Right.
Lobster hands.
So,
Squid Boy.
So, Lobster Man, what does Lobster Man do? Does he fight crime?
Not that much. Apparently he got into a bit of trouble. He was in a restaurant, and this was years ago, by the way.
And someone picked him to eat him.
No, so apparently the waiter said, "Oh, you shouldn't be sat here. You should be in my pan or something."
Oh dear.
And they had a fight, got out of hand.
Yeah.
Got out of claw.
And yeah. So that was.
What do you mean they had a fight? What did he do? A waiter took the mickey out of someone with.
No.
Now, can I just make clear? I'm assuming his hands look a bit like those of a lobster.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's fused, so it's just like two big fingers. They're fused, I assume, probably in the womb, and they're just like, instead of like having 5 digits, they're fused in it. But he can pick stuff up, can't he?
Yeah.
What does he pick up? He mainly eats crabs and jellyfish, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. So he was having a fight with the waiter, he snipped off his nose.
Right, so anyway,
he just held on to the waiter's bib.
Yeah,
and the waiter was screaming, "Go and get him off me!"
Yeah.
So anyway,
does he eat other lobsters? Does he think he would eat lobster, or is it kind of? Would he feel bad about eating lobster?
Right.
The little cheek of the freak that we've gone for anyway.
The what?
The little freak of the week.
Yeah.
Cheeky freak of the week. We've gone for this Siamese lad.
Okay.
Right. Happened back in.
You can't have a Siamese lad, can you?
All right. Yeah. This Siamese twins. Happened back in 1693.
Oh, he's got a date. Blimey, that's the first time ever.
Yeah. And all it was, he was doing all right for himself. He used to go on like those circus things he used to do.
They're two people you're talking about, Carl. So we're going to him.
All right then. All right. They did this circus show, right?
Yeah.
And everything's going well. They're selling out the tents and stuff. People coming to see them.
Yeah.
He was doing all right for himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, before I said that, did you think a Siamese twin was a man with 2 heads?
Well, it can be, can't it? It depends. There's
two people. They're conjoined.
No. But it depends, doesn't it? The one that I shown you in that book that time was a fellow with 2 heads.
No, it wasn't. That was a stupid picture in one of your stupid books that he had a growth that looked a little bit like it had a face on it. It wasn't a man with 2 heads. You're the same sort of people who send potato chips to restaurants and say, "Doesn't it look like Norman Cook?"
Yeah.
It's not 2 heads.
We'll bin this feature.
No.
No, it's just...
They're 2 people. They're 2 people. Conjoined twins. Yeah. Right, so these...
they just happen to have a similar taste in clothes. Okay.
Anyway, so they were doing alright, and it all went wrong when he crossed the road, got run over. The lad with 2 heads got run over. That's it.
What? How is that cheeky freak of the week?
Just because it got my interest, and I kind of thought, why didn't he just look both ways?
I'm intrigued to know
Why wasn't he looking both ways?
I'm intrigued to know how you get run over. What was it, 1629?
Yeah. Well, it's horses and that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, why wasn't he looking both ways? Karl Pilkington, you are a genius. Play a record, you fool.
Well done, Karl. More cheeky freak of the week next week.
See what's going on.
In the freak world.
Eminem, Without Me, on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
Little Karl Pilkington. Into the last hour, 3 hours of broadcasting to go, Karl, for us. 3. Yeah?
What are you going to be doing while
3
we're
Musketeers.
Because you'll obviously still be working here. You have a day job, don't you? What is it you do exactly?
I make stuff.
You make stuff? What, like furniture?
Promos and stuff.
Oh, right.
Sort of a bit of in-talk there, but basically like little trails for the station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do all week.
Yeah.
So you'll be back to doing that when we're off?
You don't talk to anyone, do you, in the week? You just hide in your little sound booth thing, and you really don't talk to anyone, do you? Much?
Not really.
No.
I mean, you might call up.
Yeah.
But no, I keep myself to myself.
Yeah.
Then you don't get bogged down in the office politics and stuff.
Yeah. Is there a lot of office politics here?
I don't know. I don't get involved in it.
Oh, yeah. Proved your point.
So when we're away and we're like out of action, who other than Suzanne, who will you talk to of the day?
How will you get a sort of feedback from the world? How will you get sort of like input and?
I always, if ever I've got like a question on anything, the internet's sat there and I can just go online and find out.
The internet is good.
It's brilliant.
But it's not all verified.
What do you mean?
It's not all verified.
It's not all necessarily factually accurate.
Anyone can put things onto the internet. It's that, you know, it's freaks and things that put on things
one,
like...
Here's one that I read in the week, right?
Go on.
About this woman.
Yeah.
She was a bit of a punk. And, to get her hair done like she wanted it.
Super glue?
Right, no. She got lard. Apparently it's a popular thing, you might know. Put lard on your head.
Yeah.
And you put it in the oven. Now, apparently the heat that you get from the oven is different from the sort of heat you get from an hairdryer. Right? And she had to do that to get the style that she wanted. But anyway, she comes into money or whatever, treats herself to a microwave. Right?
It's not true.
Opens the door, jams the things, you know, like the little catch, so the microwave works. She jams it with a screwdriver or a knife or something.
Yeah.
Puts the microwave on, sticks her head in, boils her brain.
Don't be ridiculous.
Right? Well, why is that ridiculous?
Boils her brain.
She boiled her brain.
She boiled her brain.
And this is what's good about the internet. I went straight from that, and there was a subject about brains. And do you know that Russell Crowe, when he dies, is giving his brain to charity or something? Some sort of... some people who can do stuff with it.
She gave hers to Pot Noodle.
Vesta.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
boiling
the sort of
a
stuff.
skull.
Yeah.
That's not true. No.
It's not true, Carl.
It's the same as the woman who put her poodle in the microwave, isn't it? And all
Just urban myths.
that. They're urban myths.
But again, where does it start?
Someone made it up.
Yeah.
For a laugh.
They're just too convenient urban myths. Everyone you can tell an urban myth's not true because it's always this happened to a mate of mine, and when you say what happened then, they go, don't know, that was it. Was it? Was that it? Was it? Someone boiled a brain and that was it. There was no more story.
Well,
Were
there any dates, locations, times?
I think it was in Belgium.
There's that one that a bloke, right, was going to get a phone call at 4 o'clock to find out if his business was, you know, okay, right? And if he didn't get the phone call, he knew he was broke, destitute. So dead on 4 o'clock, the phone didn't ring, so he went up to the roof of his office and he jumped off to commit suicide. And as he was passing his window, the phone was ringing.
Oh no.
Carl, it didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Think it through.
Think it through. Who told that story? Who told that story? As he hit the pavement at 120 miles an hour.
He's the only person who could have known that series of incidents.
Also, why didn't he wait?
dead.
As his life's at stake, why didn't he wait till 5 past? I say I'm gonna give it 5 minutes, just in
In case the lines are busy.
Yeah. And what sort of bloke goes out, I'll call you at 4, okay, if your business, well, call me anyway. No. If I don't call exactly 4, then, no, you commit suicide. Commit suicide? I would, because if I don't call at 4, that's the end of it. Well, call me anyway. No, that's not the way I work. Why can't you just call me and tell me the other way? Well, I'm telling you how I do it. If you're bust, I don't call. Can't you just call to verify in case something goes wrong? What if it's engaged? It won't be engaged. Just commit suicide at 4, please. It didn't happen, Carl. The other one, right? A bloke, right? He's on a train station, and I'll tell you how I heard it. He's waiting for a cruise station, waiting for, and he shits himself. As you do. And so he goes, oh, my train's in 5 minutes, so he runs across to Millets, and goes, quick, Levi's, 36, the bloke just puts it in a bag, he runs onto the train, he goes into the toilet, takes his, trousers and pants off.
His soiled
Yes.
trousers and pants.
Throws them out of the window, I won't be needing those again, cleans himself off, open the bags, it's a jacket!
Oh.
No, it didn't happen, Carl! At what point did he go into it and go, quick, Levi's 36, and the bloke went, sorry, Levi's 36, what, a pair? No, shall I wrap them? Them? It, shall I wrap? Just wrap, whatever it is. Do you want to look? No, I'm not looking when you're putting it in the bag, please. Right? Well, 36 way stories, well, don't say anything.
I've told you 36 Levi's. They put it in a bag and charged me for it.
Yeah.
I don't want to discuss it further.
Yeah.
There was one,
Here we go.
there was one about a woman whose husband died, and she had him cremated.
Yeah.
And made like a little egg timer out of him.
Right.
And she said, I did that, so it can still help around the kitchen.
Well, that might be true. That might be a joke.
That's quite sweet.
That might be true.
That is true story, again. It was all...
No, not again, because the ones I just told weren't. Nor is the boiling the brains in a bag curry microwave.
Head story, true.
Yeah. They're too convenient.
Will you be buried or cremated?
What?
Will you be buried or cremated?
I don't know. Cremated. I imagine.
Like you, Steve?
I don't know, it's out of my hands.
Yeah, I haven't thought about
I've
it.
not thought it through, and
No, to
I
be
don't
honest.
care either way.
Have you heard the one
So
about... Sorry.
I'm just worried that we're getting into a macabre world now of ashes, boiled heads. I think we should play some music, let people just calm down.
Levi's.
Just think about some of the urban myths they've maybe heard, assess them, maybe they are absolute bollocks.
Yeah.
And, they can move on from it.
Well, it's just that... The death thing, right?
Yeah.
There was an argument on there about... Do you know that Twilight Zone or whatever it was, Tales of the Unexpected?
Oh, yeah.
Where the woman got buried alive?
Yeah.
They were saying how, like, years ago, they'd bury people thinking they're dead.
Yeah.
And they've recently, like, dug coffins up, and then the people who were in the coffin weren't dead, they might have just been, like, in some sort of deep sleep or whatever.
Catatonic.
And they've lifted the lid off,
Yeah.
and there's scratch marks
Yeah.
on the thing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty scary. And that
Makes you
was-
think. I mean, I hope they check these days. That's all. I'd like to play a beautiful song now by Cat Stevens called Lillywhite. It's lovely.
A song for the lovers room?
Yeah.
And,
Cheeky Freak?
The controversial cheeky freak of the week, where Karl finds a human being with some sort of congenital or imposed deformity, or So and we talk about that in a wry way. Do you think that's big and clever?
no, but that's just it. It's never about taking the mickey out of someone, right? It's to make you think,
I'll tell you what isn't big and clever.
how lucky you are.
A
on
dwarf with learning difficulties.
Nice.
that. Yeah. Well,
We'll explain it to you. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, He Wants You.
Brilliant.
On XFM.
Yeah. So, Karl, off you go.
well, we're not going to do Freak of the Week here,
Okay.
right? Because we've done quite a bit of that in the last 20 minutes,
We've
right? So we'll
OD'd
move
on
that.
freaks, you think?
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll just shift it a little bit.
Okay.
And I don't, like I keep saying, don't want people to be thinking we're sort of taking the mick out of anyone,
No.
right? Because we're not about that. I feel that, like, I can do a little bit of it because I work with you, Steve.
Yeah.
Sure. It gives me that right.
It's like a care worker. Yeah, I understand.
Well, it's like that thing of you can't be homophobic because I've got a couple of gay mates and
Sure,
stuff.
sure.
I think it sort of gives me that edge,
Yeah.
right? So,
So you're not freakophobic because you work with Steve.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, by that token, I should be able to sort of slag off, the mentally ill.
What do you
Or
mean?
at least mentally handicapped.
Now there's a term you don't hear very often. In 2003, there was the mentally
The mentally handicapped, isn't that what it was?
I don't know where to start.
But I
I'd
mean,
like to
something-
apologise for the Lady Diana stuff, the term mentally handicapped, and any inadvertent racism that we may have stumbled
What's
over.
the actual term then? Is it retarded?
Right, are we
Well,
having Cheeky Freak of the Week?
Do you want to do it?
What
Yeah.
time have you got to show off?
Could do with shooting off sort of soonish,
Okay.
to be honest.
This is not radio. Have you ever heard that on a radio show? Chris Tarrant going, I can't show off right now. I couldn't get a later train.
I know! Why'd you get a later train?
there isn't
a later train. So I couldn't get to Cornwall tonight if I had to. If I had to finish this show, I couldn't possibly get to Cornwall.
Rubbish. Of course there's a later train.
Oh, I've booked it now anyway.
Right, well that's
be
the point, isn't it? Yeah. You're not thought
Right,
it through.
whatever. I don't think the show's lost anything. I think we've still had the, Freak of the Week's coming up now.
Oh, cheeky Freak of the Week.
Right, well, we've had some interesting things we've been looking at. This week, it's about the strangest couple that ever got married.
And we've had 2 sets of chimps, so it's stranger than that. Oh, it's not Dale Winton and Nell McAndrew, is
It's
it?
not your parents, is it?
Well, we're going back again to about, I think this is about 19...
Something like that.
1940.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Strangest couple, a fella, right? He had skin of a lizard.
He had the skin of a lizard, okay.
And the woman who he
Which he
married...
used as a condom.
The woman who he married.
Yeah.
Airiest woman ever.
Right.
And that was their act. They used to tour the world, and they'd say, you know, it's like, you know, couple who've met, they're having a great life. Let's get them out on stage. Here they are. And they'd
What do you mean
out.
he had a skin of a lizard? First of all,
That's what it said. He had some sort of some illness.
so he was called Lizard Man, and you like that because it was good description.
I thought that's good.
I'm
Let
here.
me know.
I'm here. Hello. We've booked a table for two. Who are you meeting? I'm meeting Lizard Man. Oh, he's over there.
Yeah.
You know he is, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Look
meeting
out.
the hairiest woman in the world. She's over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did they do for their act?
Now, bear in mind that we had some Siamese twins last week, and their act was having a bath.
yeah.
So, I hope it's an improvement on that.
What did Lizard Man? He came out and ate some flies, did he?
I don't really know. I just think they stood there on that.
Yeah, what do you, when you read this, and it goes, the most interesting fact ever, Lizard Man, and you go, that's enough,
Yeah,
I
well,
can
that's-
extrapolate from
Yeah,
that.
but straight away I'm thinking, right, I wonder if they got the wedding photos. Right? And then, like it said that they had a kid.
Or what would that be like? Half
Exactly,
lizard, half,
exactly, that's
it'd be
what I
like
was
an
thinking.
ostrich, wouldn't it? It would sort of like,
That's what I was thinking.
what did you think it would come out like, the baby?
I didn't think what that looked like, I just was thinking, oh, parents' evening. Do you know what I mean?
You wouldn't want them coming up to the school, would you?
So,
Well, that's
so
the
little
problem.
Johnny, who starts off relatively normal, he's quite good at, he's good at nature,
Yeah.
isn't he? And his mum and dad come into the room and they'd be looking round, wouldn't they?
Well, it's always like that thing at school when, like, you find out your mate's mum and dad are really old.
Right,
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
When you go, your gran and granddad bought you?
Yeah.
There's my mum and dad.
Yeah.
And you go, oh.
It is weird.
What's that we're talking about? He calls him mum. What was that? Oh, sorry.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no,
like-
that's always strange.
I
But
just-
if you had Godzilla and King Kong as your parents,
Yeah.
and it was
they're
like you
always
say-
fighting.
they're always fighting, and you know, like you say, if you're in a school play or something, you wouldn't tell them, would you? You wouldn't want them coming out with a video camera.
He didn't tell his parents he was in the, when we were...
Well, exactly.
You did Little Donkey, you didn't tell your dad, did you? And he came along and videoed it.
Yeah.
Was
kept
that-
kept it quiet, don't want them to know anything.
But you didn't, what was it was meant to be playing? You had a little drum, didn't you?
Yeah, I was doing, I had a little drum. I think I was meant to be playing We Three Kings,
Yeah.
but, he started doing Little Donkey and I thought, I can add a touch to this.
Sure, you improvised.
Started playing along.
It was like the
loved
first
yeah.
remix, wasn't it?
It went down well. But yeah, that's all I was thinking with, the Freak of the Week this week. That's what I'm saying about Freak of the Week. It's to get people thinking, right? Thinking how lucky they are. That, you know, they don't have to...
Comb their face. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Freak of the Week is to let people know how lucky they are.
Just...
What about the little freak you're talking about? What are they thinking? They're going, oh, he's talking about me. I'm a little hairy lizard man on a stick.
Pop in, give us a call. You know, that's what I'd like to do on a TV programme. That's what I want to do. I want to go and, like, meet these people and say, right, let's just go shopping, we'll film what your normal day's like.
Yeah.
Let's pop out. Nip into Sainsbury's or whatever.
Yeah.
Buy a comb.
Park
whatever.
right up close to it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what you're saying is you just want to get a little message out there, which is that there's always someone worse off than you.
Well, there's proof of that in this room. You know what I mean?
Oh, Carl, when's your train?
In a minute, I'm going to get going now. I'll see you later.
Thanks, Carl.
Brilliant. What are you playing? You can play a song?
Kirsten McCall.
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
Cheers. Alpine Stars, Burning Up on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Steve, you were out of the room there.
Mm-hmm.
Carl took a phone call from someone.
Okay.
He's found a cellmate.
Right.
Not a soulmate, I think one day they will be cellmates.
Yes.
Because he's just like, he loves everything Carl loves, and he was telling Carl stuff, and Carl's face was lighting up.
Yeah.
He's told him of 2 Russian kids in the circus. They're covered in hair, and their mum tells them off because they're covered in fleas. Carl said, See, that annoys me again, innit? They do something else. And the bloke went, yeah, they should just make money out of being hairy. And Karl went, exactly. And he said, have you heard of the three-legged juggler? And the bloke went, no, what's that? He went, that annoys me as well. Because he thinks they shouldn't have done juggling, they should have done football.
Do you know what I mean, though, Steve?
What do you mean a three-legged juggler? What are you talking
He's
about?
a famous three-legged juggler.
Oh, he's mega famous. He's like the Beckham of wherever he's from.
But the other day I was looking in, I don't know, Bizarre magazine or something, right? And there was this fella who, he had no arms. So you saw a picture of him, his job was fixing watches, did it with his feet.
Go on.
Well, it's just, why pick the most hardest job to do when you haven't got any hands? Crush grapes. Or... Do you know what I mean? That annoys me.
Oh, crush grapes! Imagine him being told that he comes into the careers advisory where they go, now, what do you want to do, Hargreaves? Make watches? Right, take a look at your arms. Crush grapes, mate. Sorry, you're a grape crusher. Next. Brilliant. Brilliant. I would love you to be a career advisory in some sort of clinic. It'd be brilliant.
I like the fact that it annoys you. Here's a man, he's got no arms, he has learned to fix watches with his feet.
Yeah.
An incredible talent, incredible skill, he's utilising that brilliantly. That's annoying to you. You are angered by it.
Right, I'm only being honest. Now, you be honest, right? Your watch is broke. Who would you go to? You're in a rush. You need it fixing in a rush. Now, you need some fresh wine.
Be honest.
Oh, you're amazing.
But what's this thing that you've been talking about, this video?
Freaks, right. It was a thing that was banned for like 50 years. I think it's been taken off again, but I don't know why, if it's just been deleted, right? It's a quest. If anyone out there has got a copy of Freaks on DVD or VHS, can Karl borrow it, please? I mean, I almost want to set up a camera to see him watching it. It's absolutely real. They used people in the circus of the time. I think it's the 20s or 30s of the Depression. And there's people, there's coneheads, there's a bearded lady, all genuine. There's a bloke they call the human slug who's got no arms and no legs, Karl. And he's just there, and he rolls a cigarette and lights it with his mouth.
I think I've seen his brother, who isn't called the human slug, is called the pillow.
Right. How does he make a living?
He, Does anyone want to meet Karl for money? Do you know what I mean? Like that,
The annoying thing was, right, there was a picture of him, I was going to put it on
I think I've seen his brother.
on our website, we put things up like this, right? If you go to ricky.gervais at xfn.co.uk /
What? You put things like that on my website? It's nothing to do with me. I want people to know that that website is not kept or looked at by me. So, what have you put on there?
There's a fella on there who's known as the pillow. And he's, you see, I get a bit worried with things like this, because we're not sort of having a go or anything, it's just things that
Fascinate
me.
you.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's a guy, it might be the same sort of thing. What's your one
I
called?
bet you used to stare at people with goiters, didn't you, when you were little? In Tesco's.
Or just go to xfm.co.uk / Ricky, it is.
What's the worst thing you've ever seen on, like, a human face?
You know what it is, and
What
I
is
don't
it?
want to talk about it.
I can't remember. Have you
No.
told me?
Yeah.
What is it?
But go,
It's not
go
the
to,
elephant lady
Go
that used
to
to-
the... Yeah.
Is it the elephant lady? You talked about that, I know.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it again. Go to the website and see the human pillow.
Why is he a human pillow?
That's what annoyed me. I thought he was more of a draft excluder.
Oh, that breaks all kinds of rules.
Buzzcocks, harmony in my head. Now, things are flying here at XFM. People have called in. There is a video of Freaks on the way. Karl's going to see that within the week. That's exciting. That's exciting for me. Do you know what I mean? About our education of Karl. We started off trying to teach him about science and history, and now we just find out he likes pictures of hairy Chinese kids and
Who
women.
doesn't?
Who doesn't? No, true. You've got a theory about pictures of freaks, haven't you?
You see, you always bring things up that I don't want to talk about, because I'm really worried that people, if you've just tuned in for the first time, it's the first time you hear it, and we're talking about airy Chinese kids.
Yeah.
Talking about the human worm.
Carl, listen. People don't think that you're taking the piss out of those people. They lump you in with them. Do you know what I mean? They think that you're a freak of nature. So you can say anything you want. Do you know what I mean? Because it's honest, it's from the heart, it's genuine. So, don't worry about that.
Yeah, but Suzanne was saying last night that I've got a heart of stone, or whatever it is.
Why?
Because I wasn't crying at Comic Relief. And all I always used to say to her, get out Elephant Man, let me watch that for 30 minutes, I'll be crying my heart out.
Why? Why do you care about that but not...
Because it's... That is more real, isn't it, right? Think of John Merrick.
Sorry. What, the film starring John Hurt is more real than footage of starving people in Africa?
No, but what I'm saying is, think about... See, this is why I didn't want to bring it up, because people are gonna just say...
Well, you're allowed to cry at what you like. People can't have you for not crying at someone and crying at someone else.
Imagine that, like, if you've seen the film, you know, his head's all, you know, messed up and that.
Yeah.
He's getting picked on all the time.
Yeah.
By Michael Elphick, I remember.
Yeah.
It's just really, really sad. Whereas, you know, we're trying to help out.
But you give him a bun
people.
and he forgets it.
Do you know what I mean, though?
He never forgets, Rick.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
Oh God.
We're giving away stuff again.
Yeah.
Time
Tell
for
me your theory about freaks who have their picture taken.
No, I'd leave it.
No, can I tell you?
We'll do it next week, then.
Can I tell you what this is?
Go on, quickly, what is it?
Right, when he sees a little picture, like in these books he's got, he carries round those things, right? And there's like a fella with a little head with some like able-bodied people. He goes, the only reason he must know the only reason they got to take that picture, right, was so they could show their mates, say, look at me, the little fella with a little head. That's his theory.
Yeah. So every picture of a freak, they're being
Steve, let me describe the picture to you. This little fella with a little head,
right,
playing on the piano.
I've seen it.
All his family stood around and mates and that. When have you ever seen a picture of someone playing the piano and everybody wants to be in on it? Doesn't happen.
Maybe it was one of those kind of Christmas cards they sent out to everyone.
It wasn't. You could see one of them was like in a rush to go away. He was probably planned to go out, and he was like, "But they were taking a picture." It's I'll be in it then before I go out, and it was all. It's out of order.
Yeah.
If you say, do you know the one?
I do know the one you mean. Yeah.
There you go,
What about the one in the when you went down to Cornwall in that little
We'll
pub?
talk about that next week.
What you want to get on, do you?
Yeah.
Carl, let's give him a list. Top 5 something. What are you interested in? Are you interested in news, sport, TV, cars, movies, style?
Not enough to make a list out of it. I'm not into lists.
Okay.
You're not into lists.
You're not
Great.
into lists.
We
We're
were
in the wrong place here. Come on, there must be... What inflames you? What interests you? What could you... If I said, right, quick, you've got to come up with top 5 things, what would it be?
I mean, I'm into weird stuff, but it seems a bit tight to stick them in a list.
What, like what?
Well, like, you know, sort of freaky people and that. I've got that freak book. But I don't know if they'd be happy if I call one of them and said, good news, you're at number 1, because you've got 4 legs or whatever. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, then, this is the exclusive Ricky Gervais guide to Shortlist magazine, Karl Pilkington Top 5 Freaks, in at number 5.
So you've got to work backwards, haven't you? I've got to know what my number 1 is.
I think you do work
number 5.
backwards.
Probably something not too good at number 5, but it's still interesting. Lighthouse Man.
Who's that?
Lighthouse Man?
What's Lighthouse Man?
It's a fella with a hole in his head. And he, what he does, rather than moan about it, sticks a candle in it.
Shut up. What are you talking about?
Sticks a candle in it.
What are you talking about? Where is the hole?
I bet he didn't call himself Lighthouse Man, did he?
Well, I don't know. It's just what he got nicknamed because he had this hole. Doctors were like, "There's nothing we can do. Can't fill it." He thought, "What can I do with it?" And it was of the days when there was no electric and that. You had to walk about with a candle.
Right.
So hang on a minute.
Okay, I can have both
Got a
hands
little
for
candle
you.
holder here. Stuck a candle in it. And he just got nicknamed the Lighthouse Man. So again, it's not that amazing, but I like the way he was sort of energy efficient.
Didn't he have, like, wax dripping on his head?
No, because they all went into the hole. So in a way, it was filled in. By
What
the
do
end
you
of
mean?
the day,
It wasn't a hole, though. It was a dip, surely.
No, a big hole.
Yeah, but not a hole through the skull with wax dripping on the brain.
No, just a really big hole in his head, but it had skin.
Like a golf hole.
Yeah, I suppose a golf hole's a good way of looking at it.
Perfect for a candle, basically. And then the drippage went into
the hole. Candle sort of stood up straight.
Yeah.
So was it in his forehead?
No, on the very top of his head.
That's perfect. You don't want it in the forehead, Steve. You'd have to walk back with your neck
ridiculous.
cricked.
So he was like a kind of human jack-o'-lantern.
He's a lighthouse man. What did you see? What
Sorry, mate. Yeah,
better
I
description
forgot
do you
about
need than the lighthouse man?
So yeah, he's probably at number 5.
Wow, that's at number 5, Steve.
Number 4.
What about pig-faced woman of Manchester Square?
Again, you're getting what it says in the tin there, aren't you?
Now, pig-faced woman of Manchester Square, is that someone you knew growing up?
No, it's a square in London,
Yeah.
Right.
and it's just this woman who had a face like a pig, and the rumour was
Yeah.
that it wasn't a woman. Someone said it was a pet bear and they'd shaved it. That's what that's what
Was
I've
this
heard.
someone? Was this someone you saw? Or
No,
did you
no,
just read about
this is going back.
This is
years and years ago.
Yeah.
When there was loads of like weird looking people. I mean, the fact that it's pig-faced woman of Manchester Square
Yeah.
says that there might have been one in
Piccadilly Circus?
yeah, whatever. So there was a lot more of them knocking about back then.
Let's assume that it was a woman, and the first one, the lighthouse fellow, he's a human. Do you think people would object because of their disfigurement, deformity, bit like being called freaks? Do you think?
Well, it gave them a purpose back then. See, if you were a freak years ago, there was work for you. You'd have these circus things. Now, if you've got a funny head, you're on the dole. They don't do these
Or
side
working
shows.
with Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant on the world's #1 audiobook. Great. Number 3?
What about Elephant Man?
Right.
Stick him at number 3. He's
number 3.
He's surely the most famous freak ever to have lived, isn't he?
He's the one who got me into it.
Right, yeah, sure, he's a sort of entry-level freak.
Yeah.
A gateway freak.
Everyone is aware of him.
If the Elephant Man still existed, right, and you got the opportunity to meet him, and you walked in, a couple of questions. 1, what would your first reaction be? And 2, what would you say to him? What would your first question be?
How would I react? Well, I've sort of seen him enough now that it wouldn't shock me. So I don't even think I'd flinch.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, when I first saw you, that was a bit weird. But now, look, I can look at you. I don't double take or anything. What would I say to him though? What? I'd probably say, where do you get that hat to fit you? You always had that on. Where do you get that from?
That sort of flat cap that he's got.
Yeah, that one, didn't he? So,
Very stylish.
so yeah, I'd have him. So he's at number 3.
Right. Elephant Man number 3. I can't wait for 2 and 1. Right. Okay. Number
Well, I know
2.
what my number 1 is. It's just number 2 now. I don't know his name, but there's a fella knocking about. Well, I don't think he's around anymore. But he had like a normal body. Looking at him, you'd go, "What's up with him? He's not a freak." Takes his undies off. He's got 2 knobs.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, there's nowhere to start. Do you
don't
think
know.
he uses them alternately, like have a wee out of this one, have a wee out of that one, or does he just like spread the load so he's weeing out of both?
I don't think he knows.
What do you
I
mean
think
he
it's
doesn't
sort of
know?
like a lucky dip. When he goes to a urinal,
Yeah.
he can have a little bet with himself. He's just like, I don't know what's going to happen here.
So do you reckon he holds them
Holds
both
them
out?
definitely.
So he takes his trousers down because I mean, you know,
Yeah, he can't use a Y front.
right?
It'd be,
Need more like a W front.
Yeah. So he pops his kecks down there.
I don't think it's that much of a problem. It's not like.
Well, I don't know.
I'd prefer that than Elephant Man's head.
Well, of course you would.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What if you had Elephant Man's knob?
Yeah, but he didn't work like that, did it? That's the thing. They said he had the body of an elephant, but that's the only thing that wasn't of an elephant standard. His knob was normal. Whereas with this fella, it's the other way round. Everything normal. Take the pants off. Oh, well, what's going on here?
But why would you ever take his pants off?
No, well, I wouldn't. I'm just saying if...
But why? I don't know why you'd be in a situation with this man with 2 knobs standing there with his pants on, and you go pop your pants off. You're not a doctor.
No, say if I'm waiting in a cubicle and he's there.
For what?
Sorry, you're waiting in the cubicle when he comes in?
I'm waiting to have a wee at a cubicle. He's
Oh, in the
taking
toilet.
2 urinals up and going,
Right.
hang on, you don't need them both, do you? He goes, well, actually,
Oh, and
have
then
a look at this.
right.
He's got 2 knobs.
See, I didn't see him at 2 urinals. I saw him at 1, maybe them pointing inwards.
If you had that, and say the first time that you met Suzanne, would you mention that straight up?
Would you say, right, before this goes any further, I've got something to show you?
Well, let's see. Tell me exactly what you would say. All right, Carl, I can't wait to go back to your place.
Oh, maybe we should end up sort of like boyfriend and girlfriend and live together for the rest of our lives. You had normal head then, didn't you?
I had the same head, yeah.
Yeah, but it had, like, hair coming out of it, didn't it? And sort of like...
Yeah, but she also had a smaller arse back then as well, so I think we've both been dumb.
If you want to hear more of this kind of intellectual discussion, then download our audios. Anyway, we need to get to number 1.
Yeah, number 1.
Okay, it is.
It's Pillow Man.
Oh, yeah.
Pillow Man. Okay, now explain for those that don't know who he was.
He's a fella with no arms and legs, just a head and a little body. Nickname Pillow Man. What else do you need to know?
Well, why is he your favourite?
Just because he's amazing. Just the way he just got on with his life. He used to light a cig, just using his lips and his tongue and that.
Oh, I've
And
seen
not
this.
fully lit. He'd buy like Roll Your Own.
Yeah, it's in the film Freaks, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he
He had a
rolls
shave
it.
as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How did he have
Do
a
you think
shave?
he used to do it? He used to get it in his mouth, and I don't know.
Jesus.
It's amazing. Did he have a knob?
I think he did because he had some kids.
What?
Yeah, he had kids. He was an all right looking fella. He wasn't odd looking. It's just that
sorry?
he had no, his head. He looked like Samuel L. Jackson. Imagine him with no arms and legs.
Right, that's odd though, isn't it? Really?
It's weird, but you've got to give it to him. You know, I mean, he's there rolling his own. He's pretty cool looking.
I just want to say to people, it's not. You say it looks cool, to, you know, with no arms and no legs to smoke, but don't forget that smoking can stunt your growth.
Yeah, but yeah. Remember, he was on like this circus freak show thing with like a bearded woman.
Yeah.
Right. Which isn't really a freak, is it? She should have had a shave. Have a shave, you're not a freak anymore.
Yeah.
A bearded woman. Compared to a fella who's got no arms and legs, a bearded woman, you haven't... Get out! But there was like a fella with no bottom half to his body, called Johnny Eck, was his name. So, you know, when you're knocking about with that crowd, you're going to get a bit. You're going to get a bit. So... Yeah, he had kids, and they were all normal kids. They had all the limbs.
Did his
and
wife
everything.
had arms and legs?
Never saw his wife.
Never saw his wife.
I think
He was probably ashamed of her. She was a bit of a freak.
for someone like him, you'd think he'd just give up, wouldn't you? You think, forget it. What sort of life is it?
Yeah.
I'm like a Mexican jumping bean. It's not worth living. But he just got on with it. I mean, to have a shave, I don't even bother having a shave some days.
No. Nor did the bearded lady. Lazy fucking bitch.
So that's why I've put him at my number 1 position. It's just amazing, isn't it? The human, you know, how you know, whatever you dealt, some people just get on with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Pillow Man, or Draft Excluder, as I prefer to call him.
There you go. Oh.